Every man wants to get jacked, strong, lean, be more confident, more attractive, and have the advantage of having a top 1% physique. But they always skip the first step, which is why 99% of people never achieve the physique that they want. They never build their foundation, find their true starting point, and tap into the potential that they're actually capable of. Most guys who want to build muscle just start bulking when they're already fat. They start bulking before they've earned the right to actually be able to do it. They bulk before their body is primed and ready to start actually packing on muscle. And yet they wonder why they look the exact same year after year. And they can't seem to get lean no matter what they do or how hard they try. And if you've never been lean before, had abs, and had a physique without love handles, you are taking a shot in the dark with every single one of your workouts, your meals, and what you actually need to do because you don't understand what your body looks like without that extra layer of fat. Getting lean gives you an idea of the actions that you need to take in order to improve your physique based on how you look instead of how you actually feel. When you're lean, you know what places you store the majority of your fat, which muscle groups are your strong points, and you learn to control the inputs in order to improve your physique specifically. And that's where most guys fail. The first part of achieving a top 1% physique is getting lean first. Even if you don't have a solid foundation of muscle yet, getting lean first is absolutely crucial if you want to not only make the most amount of progress over time, but also make the process as enjoyable as possible. And if you're able to make the process sustainable and enjoyable, you won't need discipline in order to be consistent because it doesn't take hard work to follow a routine that you enjoy. This is a big mistake that even I made when I first started working out years ago. I was skinny fat and I thought that bulking and building muscle was the first step to take, but I could have not been more wrong. I never truly experienced what it was like to be shredded, and my body wasn't in a proper spot to eat in a surplus, and I left so much progress on the table by doing that. And every time I would start a cut, after a few weeks I felt that I was getting too small and I was gonna end up back to where I started, when I would get bullied all the time for the way I looked and being super skinny. I put in so much effort to get bigger, and when I started to feel skinny and weak again, I would second guess myself and go right back into a bulk. But the reality is that if I just committed to a cut initially, got to sub 10% body fat, then I would have set myself up for success because I would have saw the muscles that I need to bring up, what my strengths and weaknesses were, and what my potential could really be. I would have been able to restructure my training in a way that complemented my physique specifically. I would have made so much more progress in the beginning instead of just sitting there spinning my wheels, practically looking the same every single year. I would have never fallen into the party scene, chasing girls, drinking all the time, and searching for that outside validation because I would have known what my true potential was if I maxed out the genetics that I was given. And the true turning point for me was after I dirty bulked up to 200 pounds and I felt like complete garbage. I wasn't happy with the way I looked, and I knew that I couldn't keep bulking forever if I wanted to achieve an aesthetic physique. So at this point, I did finally commit to a cut and get more shredded than I ever had before. And after about 6 months, I got to 165 pounds and was completely shredded. This was the first time I had a shredded six pack and I felt like a completely different person. And once I did, I finally had that internal validation for myself that I needed this entire time. And since then, I told myself that I was never gonna do a 30 bulk because I felt like garbage, and I just know how good I felt when I was shredded. Not saying that I would never do a bulk again, but rather that I wouldn't do it for years on end because there comes a point when bulking becomes ineffective, when you get to too high of a body fat percentage, which is exactly why you need to get lean first before you start a bulk, and why you don't want to eat in a surplus if you're already holding too much fat. I made a promise to myself that every bulk I do from now on, I will never not be able to see my abs, because the moment that I lose my abs, I know I've taken it too far. When I see my abs, there's a huge difference in my confidence, how I feel, the level of drive and ambition that I have every single day. But when I had that first bulk to cut transformation, when I got completely shredded for the first time, I felt like I could do anything because of the work and grit that was needed to make that transformation happen. And that's exactly why you need to get lean first. All of the benefits that you're hoping to gain from hitting the gym consistently, the confidence, the improvement in your looks, the positive validation, high energy, and feeling like you're unstoppable, come from getting lean first and building upon your foundation. Dirty bulking, bulking for too long, or just bulking when your body isn't ready, only gonna set you back. Bulking is crucial if you wanna put on size, but it has to be done correctly. Otherwise, you're just gonna be less confident, less attractive, and practically do it all for nothing. Granted, yes, when you bulk, you are gonna gain some fat. That's just part of the game. But if you're able to prove to yourself that you're capable of getting shredded, that extra layer of fat that you put on during a bulk that you hold for a short period of time shouldn't scare you. I don't mind the extra fat and bulking myself because I know the transformations that I've had in the past, and my approach only continues to refine and get better the more I bulk and cut. It's a temporary sacrifice that you need to make in order to keep improving your physique. For most people, you really only need to do a few proper bulks and cuts to achieve the physique that you want, to have a solid foundation of muscle with a low body fat percentage. But once you do successfully go through a few bulks and cuts, you're patient with the process, then that's when you'll have a physique that turns heads. You'll feel like you can accomplish anything, and you'll have all the benefits of working out that you've wanted for years. But there's a step-by-step process to this, and that first step is getting lean, at least sub 10% body fat. And regardless of where your starting point is now, this should be your main goal, and to get there as fast as possible. And once you've built up the habits needed to get lean, maintaining it will be so easy. You'll know your potential, you'll know how good you feel, how much more confident you are, and the last thing you'll ever want to do is fall back into old habits, eat like trash, and see yourself fat again. Once you get shredded for the first time and master how to lose fat, how to manipulate your calories, macros, and training, you apply those same principles to a lean bulk. Your muscles will start to pop more, your progress will be much faster in the gym, and you'll be that guy in the gym that people are looking to for advice. And when people come to you for advice, that's how you automatically know that people treat you with more respect, because you have something that they don't and they want to learn from you. But the only way to put yourself in that position is to get lean first. It's hard, but that's what makes it rare. Pretty much 99% of the population gives up way too early. They don't have their expectations set right and think that it's just going to take a few weeks or months. They start off super motivated, but once that motivation fades, things start to get harder, they start to feel flat, their hunger starts to pick up, cravings come in, then they start to question whether or not it's even worth the hard work and sacrifice. Not being able to fully commit is why so many people stay average and look the exact same every single year, even though they have that deep desire to get lean and reap all the benefits. Most people cannot commit to a goal and just end up going through the motions, not having any intent with their training or diet. And really, that's what 99% of people in the gym do. Like, how many guys do you see in the gym do the exact same workouts every single year and never make progress? So do you want to be part of the 99% or the 1%? Because if you want to be part of that 1%, the first step is fully committing and understanding that it's not going to be easy. You're going to question whether or not it's worth it. You're going to feel like what you're doing is wrong, but that's exactly what does make it worth it. Because most people are not willing to do what it takes and go through those times of adversity in the beginning. And when you're able to push through those times of adversity, get lean, everything changes for the better. The opportunities that open up, how much easier it becomes to get what you want. It will feel like you're living a completely different life, one that you never want to not have. But you have to make that switch in your mind to commit to getting shredded for the first time, then building upon your foundation. You get rid of as much fat as you can, and for most of you, at the end of your first real cut, you're not gonna have a lot of muscle, but that's okay. What you're doing is setting yourself up for success to be able to build muscle as efficiently as possible. Because when you're lean, your insulin sensitivity is high, which means when you start eating a slight calorie surplus, training with intensity, staying consistent, more of those excess calories will go towards muscle as opposed to fat. If you're fat when you start a bulk, you're just gonna get fatter and fatter because your insulin sensitivity and nutrient partitioning is low, which means that you're just gonna gain more fat and way less muscle. The leaner you are when you start your bulk, the better, because you're gonna give yourself as much runway as you can and also be able to see the changes that you're making in the mirror. You need to optimize your body first, otherwise you're just gonna look and feel worse if you try to bulk. It's a journey that I've been through countless times, and I've seen it time and time again with my clients. They start their cut out feeling normal, eating a decent amount of calories, but as time goes on, they lose 10, 15, maybe even 20 pounds in a couple months. Their energy starts to decrease, hunger gets high, and it becomes just as much of a mental battle as it is physical. Then once you finish your cut, you're gonna have a sense of accomplishment for being able to complete a big goal that you set for yourself. Then when you start a reverse diet, the first few weeks will still be pretty hard, but once you stick with it, don't go on any binges or cheat on your diet, then that's where the magic happens. After a few more weeks, your hunger will be at a sustainable place, your energy will be high, you'll have achieved not only a new physique, but also a metabolic rate that makes it easy to stay lean year round. I've had clients who come to me who are eating around 2,300 calories with a higher body fat percentage, but after we did a cut and proper reverse diet, they're sometimes eating over 3,000 calories, but completely shredded and not only look great, but also feel even better. But after your reverse diet, that's when your life will truly change. You'll be part of that top 1% who has a phenomenal physique, but also doesn't have a life that revolves around the gym. But getting lean first and going through the process for the first time, it's gonna require a lot more of your attention and time, but once you make it to the other side, it becomes so easy to maintain it when you have the right guidelines and structure in place. This is exactly what I wish someone told me when I first stepped foot in the gym, that getting lean first is how you set yourself up for success. Even if you don't have a lot of muscle to begin with, because the muscle will come over time, but after you get lean first. So you get to 8 to 10% body fat first, slowly reverse diet, then lean bulk to around 15% body fat max. And that doesn't mean go from 8 to 15% in a month or two. You want to take it slowly because you can only pack on muscle so quickly. Then once you get to around 15% body fat from your bulk, after a couple months, you cut down again, see how you look with some extra muscle. And if you want more, repeat the exact same process over and over again. But what you need to realize is that the first cut is by far the hardest, and the following ones are just going to be easier and easier. Not only because you're refining your approach and you know exactly what it takes, but also because your metabolism gets faster over time and your body's set point is at a lower body fat percentage. The following cuts don't need to take more than 6 to 8 weeks max. It's not going to be the same long, grueling process that it was the first time. And the more muscle that you build over time combined with a lower body fat percentage, your insulin sensitivity is only going to get better, your metabolism will continue to increase, your pumps in the gym will get even crazier, and your recovery will be like it never has before. Over time, you're basically turning your body into a machine that craves clean food for energy and has the desire to work out consistently. It will get to the point where you actually look forward to going to the gym, where if you miss a workout, things will feel off. You'll feel like something is missing in your day-to-day life. And once you get to this level, then you'll know you did it right, that you put in the work, that you have that mindset and identity shift from someone who hated working out prior to someone who absolutely loves working out and eating clean. But that first step, is always going to be to get lean first. You'll start to realize that the people you see every single day in public look like they're just existing because they are always searching for unearned dopamine, eating junk food, watching TV all the time, never working out, whereas you're over there being alert, aware, and ambitious. Like, I don't think you guys realize how big of an advantage this gives you when you're present and ambitious every single day. And really, man, it's never been so easy to beat other people. And I know that sounds condescending, but how many people do you see who are jacked, lean, ambitious, and are always working toward bettering themselves one way or another in every single aspect of their life? And it's not just about the physique. Yes, those benefits are life-changing, but it's the mindset shift that you experience along the way. You know what it takes to accomplish something that most people never will. You know what it's like to push through those negative thoughts and second guessing, to keep the promises that you make to yourself. Most people can't do any of that, which will set you so far ahead of everyone else it's not even funny. And that's all I got for you guys in this video. If you need help going through this exact process of getting lean and reverse dieting, there's a link in the description that if you want to get in contact with me. But without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next one.